3, 2, 1.
Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Carla Marie Anthony Show. Today is February, what is it? The 17th. Jeez.
Thursday. What in the actual?
Shauna from West Virginia and Dave C84. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted Tier 1 subs from each of you guys.
Jesus.
I think that actually takes us almost all the way through the hype train to start the show.
And we got a first-time chatter, Maney55.
Welcome.
That's cool, from Ohio.
Welcome to the party.
I did another no makeup day.
Why is that bad?
It's not bad. What is happening?
I did a no shower day.
That's not as cool.
Also, Martha says we both look nice and cozy. I think I might put the hood up all day. Hold on.
Thanks,
there we go.
Chris. I don't know.
With my little teddy hood. Real quick, I know we are
Please
through.
don't do that, please. Because if anyone pops on our channel, they're just going to be like, look at these two bums not caring about anything.
No. It's all about being eccentric. You got to dress like Pete Davidson. You got to dress like Skeet.
Skeet.
I'm going Skeet style. That's a whole different thing, actually. Leave Skeet alone. Thank you, Unicorn Cindy, for the 5 gifted subs. We definitely continued our streak of hitting Hype Train level 5. So thank you very, very, very much.
We hit it?
For that, yeah. Fuck. We don't even have to be on the money shot for that long.
Okay, well, we have the regular.
Okay. Why you're doing squeaky voice this early in the morning?
Or I brought some whiskey.
We're doing a whiskey.
Ah!
I feel like we've just done vodka for a very long time, so let's do whiskey. Also, listen, I do love Tito's, but Tito's hasn't given us a damn thing since we started the show. Dubliner has actually sponsored our show and gifted us some stuff in the past.
It's fair.
Listen, if you're nice to us, we are nice to you. And Dubliner whiskey, is this a flavored one or is it straight up whiskey? Because the honey one's actually really good.
I know it's not honey, and I don't like whiskey, so.
Well, this is your
no offense,
punishment.
Dubliner. I'm obsessed with the honey one.
Yeah, the honey one's very, very good. Honey one's actually just easy to drink as a shot or like on the rocks.
For someone that doesn't drink whiskey, like I would actually be like, oh, I'll take that. Yes, yeah. I will enjoy that.
So here's what we're going to do, because you punished me yesterday on Tuesday with the mixed Tito's and Deep Eddy flavor shot.
Is there like a thing you can mix with this?
With whiskey? If you have sour mix, you could do a whiskey sour. I mean, a lot of people do like a rum or
I have blue
a whiskey and Coke.
Curacao.
Nope. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that either. Talking to the microphone though.
That's it.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna do this. So you got ice? Well, at least chill it a little bit.
Gunner Lane. Okay, what's the next move? Like state? What?
I don't know.
For us?
Yeah, there's not a lot of context there, so we're gonna have to keep moving.
That reminds me of, I was working with a website yesterday asking them questions for something I was trying to order, and I sent them our You Look Great logo, and they said, can you tell me the background of this logo? And I was like the physical background or like what it means? And I'm like, I don't know.
Now that we are done, well, we're not technically done with the shot yet, but I'm going to get off the money scene so that I can talk about what we have a lot on the show today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, let me turn off that little transition, though.
Karina, that would be cool.
What would be cool?
If people submit recipes for shots.
That could be a lot of fun.
Oh, Diana in Vermont.
Why are you being weird?
She said, I've noticed the 22222 in recent posts, and I'm like, eyes popped open.
Okay. That's good to know. We're less than a week away from that, so if you have your eyes peeled for something, we're less than a week away. Couple things we've got on the list, and it's smaller font today because there's so much. Let me actually get rid of that. There we go. So obviously we got through the hype train streak already. We're going to talk about the worst sports day of Anthony's life, which took place yesterday. Reiki hair? Reiki. Yeah. That sounds like it's Icelandic.
I don't know.
Right? Isn't that like the vodka from Iceland? What else do we have here? Oh, this is a great question, and we told people to message us in Discord with different things to talk about on the show. Would you have dated the high school version of your significant other? Or would you still be dating if you knew that version?
Wasn't the question.
Yeah, it was.
Did you read it?
Yeah.
From my text or in Discord?
From your text. So maybe the game of telephone didn't work very well.
If we were in high school together.
Yes.
Would we have dated?
All right, we'll get to that later. And then, can you enjoy a new relationship if you have a crazy ex? And the last thing on the list is high fives and handshakes.
Yeah. I had to think about what that was. That was me.
That was you.
That.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Carla Marie, you going to pour those shots?
I didn't want to shake while you were speaking.
And now that the hype train is officially over, thank you very much to everyone who contributed, who supported us. We appreciate that more than you'll ever know. And as Carla Marie's pouring the shots, I'll explain what.
We should also talk about our shoot.
Oh, we can do that. While Carla Marie's pouring that shot, I'll also explain all the support that you guys give us, whether it's through Twitch, whether it's, supporting our You Look Great merch store. All of that stuff has helped us, has given us time, I should say, to build the things we want to build for the future, and to not have to jump back into a radio job. And I was actually talking to my mom about this the other day when I was catching up with her, and she had asked if anyone from radio has reached out or if we're planning on going back into radio. And I said, listen, people have definitely reached out, and we've had some really nice discussions with people, and I'd like to go back one day if the situation was right. But this has allowed us to not jump into a situation that we don't love, or that could be even more mentally draining or abusive or whatever than the last situation was.
Yes.
So, and radio is an interesting place because there aren't a lot of jobs, and a lot of people will end up spending their entire lives moving from city to city just chasing the job because they've gotten to a point where they don't think they can do things outside of radio. And that's not what I've ever wanted. That's not, I don't think, what Carla Marie wants. Would love to get back if it works out, but this has helped us a lot. So thank you very, very much.
In a perfect world, though, we're just our own bosses forever.
Yeah, but there's a way to do that on different platforms as well. Let's see. Also weird that zip up is a blocked word.
That doesn't make it. It didn't look like it came up blocked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Claire said I got my pink zip up. I was going to type it in the chat. I might as well just say it.
Yeah.
PSA, not the strings.
What?
Not the, tie the strings.
Oh, okay. When you said not the strings, I thought you meant like no strings.
Before you put it in the wash.
All right. We're going to move on from the money train, or the money shot. Carla Marie, cheers to you. Cheers to everyone who's helped us this far.
I'd rather not make money.
You okay? I've never seen that shake before. You want to drink some water?
I just need a second.
I think the reason I like taking shots of whiskey is because it does kind of punches you in the mouth a little bit, especially when it's not like a flavored whiskey. P&W lover, you look great as well. Thank you.
It just hit my stomach where it is currently flaming.
Blaming. All right. Well, you did pretty well, Carla Marie. People in the chat are actually commenting.
Because I knew it was going to be real bad.
As to how fast you've taken that. Oh, my God. Terry Hughes. You must have the greatest husband of all time. Terry said, my husband loves putting the strings back on hoods. He did it for my You Look Great zip up. That is, my mom
It's actually kind
used
of
to do that for us.
relaxing.
I hate it.
If you have a safety pin. I did it without a safety pin.
How do you use a safety pin?
You kind of string it through from the outside. You pull it.
Oh, like you keep poking the hood?
It doesn't really do anything to the hood.
Okay. I do it where I bunch it all up and then I hold the string.
Yeah.
And then I
did that for 45 minutes.
Undo it. It's just such an annoying
tweezers work
process. Too. Tweezers work if you're close. Sometimes that happens with my drawstrings.
I think you say my draws.
No. If it's close, you can kind of stick the tweezer in there and pull it out. But
honestly, though, I like the zip up without the strings too. Wait, look.
I guess I never really used the strings.
Yeah.
I'm never tying it tight.
I am when I have to wash the cats in a bath. It's so they can't claw me.
I feel like I look like an old pilgrim woman.
You look ridiculous because the headphones are under it.
Yeah, I know. Should I put the headphones over it?
No.
I could do that.
No, just go without,
No, this is how I'm going to do it now. Doing the whole show like this.
So ridiculous.
Skeet is my muse. I'm just trying to be like Skeet Davidson.
He wouldn't do this.
He would wear eccentric things. Have you ever seen Pete Davidson dressed?
Have I ever seen Pete Davidson dressed? Yes.
Have you ever seen him undressed?
Yes.
When?
He does underwear ads.
What? Pete Davidson does underwear ads?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
He did.
This hoodie is very comfortable. It was purchased at Target for $25. Anytime I wear it to the gym is like, I'll wear this as my jacket to the gym. There's always someone who stops me as I walk in and goes, hey, where'd you get that? That looks really warm. So you now have all the info. Carla Marie?
I'm looking up.
While Carla Marie looks that up, I'm going to quickly, because we're going to move through this. I don't want to make this a sports show by any means.
Oh, God, no.
Yesterday couldn't have been a worse sports day for me. As a sports fan, all of the things that I hate in the world of college basketball happened. Now, let me explain. Number one, if you don't know by now, I went to Seton Hall. I'm a Seton Hall basketball fan. Seton Hall basketball, even more so than regular season Yankee games, like those games will change my mood for a couple hours at least. I can watch Raiders games, and if the Raiders lose, which I've been used to for a long time, it's annoying, but I don't get like down. The Yankees can lose any regular season game. If it's to the Red Sox, that stinks a little bit more. But outside of the playoffs, I don't really have a bad day if the Yankees lose.
I would say you've been much calmer this season watching Seton Hall.
Yes, I've been trying to be good. But Seton Hall games, even regular season games, they just change my mood. And yesterday, Seton Hall was playing UConn, which is one of our biggest rivals.
Go Huskies.
There's just a lot of hate between those two teams. Their head coach used to play at Seton Hall. He's one of our best players ever. And not only did we lose to UConn in a close game on the road, then right before that game, actually, I should say, they had St. John's playing Xavier.
And St. John's
is another rival that Seton Hall fans never want to see do well because oftentimes we share the same recruiting pool.
Oh.
So we'll lose players to St. John's, we'll lose players to UConn.
That sucks. That's so bad.
So I had to watch St. John's win a pretty big game. Also, as the Seton Hall games started, Rutgers was playing Illinois at home. Illinois is the 12th ranked team in the country. Rutgers absolutely stinks and is my most hated team in America. And they won. So all of the local teams that as a Seton Hall fan you hate, we don't really hate Villanova. We have a good rivalry, but we just know Villanova is a better team. They're a better coach team. They have better resources. But Rutgers, UConn, Seton Hall, and St. John's are all kind of in that same pool. And all of them won. One of them won at Seton Hall's expense. It was just a bad, bad day for me as a sports fan.
Wow.
Everything sucked.
What a life. Imagine that's what you worried about.
A lot of people worry about it.
I wish that is all I worried about. Is that all you worry about?
What do you worry about?
Nothing. My cat.
Yeah. I would actually say you worry about everything. Carla Marie worries about just about everything. If we're being honest. Also, Scotty Whip said, so Anthony, you're going to root for Rutgers now? Absolutely not.
What would it take?
No, I don't think there is anything. If somehow I was foolish enough to bet money, a lot of money on Rutgers, then yeah, I'd cheer for my money, but I wouldn't be cheering for Rutgers.
Okay.
I'd more so be cheering for the team I'd be cheering against the team that Rutgers is playing, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I can't wait till the bracket comes and Rutgers wins.
Rutgers is actually they are on what we would call the bubble. They've beat 4 ranked teams in a row, which for most teams would make you ranked right away, but they started their season very, very poorly, so they're still working their way back into it. But I would say they are pretty comfortable unless they completely bottom out for the rest of the season.
So I'm thinking we should do a Carla Marie Anthony show bracket that all of us, everyone does their own, can't you do that on ESPN?
Yeah,
you make a little network.
On any of them. CBS Sports.
But our own little hub.
Yeah. And we give people a password and they can join.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Okay. When does that start?
When does that start?
Yeah.
The second week of March.
Perfect.
So first the first week of March is all the conference tournaments.
That's Seattle Cocktail Week. I can't be bothered with basketball.
And then the week after that is the real tournament. And the crazy thing, not crazy, but if Seton Hall makes the tournament, which I still think they have a very good shot of, we were an 8 seed yesterday. I have already talked to a couple of my friends about going to all of the games that Seton Hall manages to make it to. So whether it's 1 game, whether it's 4 games, who knows? But the one thing that I'm sad about is our friend Chris DiStefano is actually going to be performing in Seattle.
We had him on the show.
Yeah, that same weekend.
But you don't know that that's when Seton Hall is going to play.
No,
they may just choke from now until then and never even get to the bracket.
Yeah, the fact that you said that with such poison in your voice makes me want to make you drink 18 more whiskey shots and torture you. But there is an option. There is a chance. There are some first round games that will be played in Portland. If Seton Hall makes that, I can drive down to...
This is like me being like, there's a chance that one day Bon Jovi and Fall Out Boy are going to play in the same city and I'm going to be there. Like,
no, that's stupid because Bon Jovi's almost dead. Isn't he like 100?
No, and that's literally like there's a chance that based off of what these 4 guys at ESPN say and this guy at this other sports place says means that Seton Hall could be the bubble team to do this and play this. But if this team wins and that team wins, they'll be in Portland.
Are you done talking?
You do this every year, and they're never where you think they're going to be.
But there's a chance.
That's how you ended up in Kansas.
This is why I prefaced it with there's a chance. Okay? There's a chance that Seton Hall plays their opening round in Portland. And I've already looked it up, and the Portland games are Thursday and Saturday. Chris DiStefano is in Seattle on Friday. So I could just drive. I can drive down to Portland, watch the game, and win or lose, I drive back to Seattle to watch Chris DiStefano, and if Seton Hall had won, I would drive then back down to Portland to watch game 2. And it's all pretty easy. Portland's only like a 2.5, 3-hour drive.
Okay.
It's better than what I did for the Kansas game.
Fred the Mailman said Bon Jovi blasphemy. I don't know if that means to you or to me.
Probably to me, because I said he's...
How are you typing? What are you delivering mail?
There's a chat feature on your phone.
Yeah, but I assume he has...
Do you think he reads the mail on his way? What are you... He's walking from one place to another. It was actually really cool. Fred the Mailman, because he was talking about delivering mail and how delivering mail is his version of CrossFit in Ohio because he's got to walk through all the snow. And then he posted a picture from his route right after that. So that was really cool. He's also a trained professional, like he says in the chat.
Oh, thank you, Bianca. But Bon Jovi's only 59, so you're like 50. That's the same.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't look like he's in good shape, though.
What?
I mean, he looks like an aging woman. He does. It's him and the guy from Aerosmith.
Steven Tyler?
Steven Tyler. That Steven Tyler looks like your zany aunt who charges her moon crystals.
Speaking of.
You know what I mean? Like, Steven, and the craziest thing is my friend Steve was at a Steven Tyler Aerosmith show in Vegas for whatever reason, like 2 years ago, right before the pandemic. And women are still flashing Steven Tyler at Aerosmith shows.
Steven Tyler.
But like you've got to assume that the women flashing Steven Tyler are Steven Tyler's age. And isn't he like 80? How old is Steven Tyler?
Uh-oh. DC Money said, "Wow, I charge crystals." So
listen, you're allowed to charge all the crystals you want.
Right here in this window.
There are crystals in that window. I say charging crystals more as just the fact that it's a funny thing to say, less about the disrespect. Little disrespect, though.
Steven Tyler is 73.
73.
He's only 3 years younger than my dad.
So then here's a follow-up question. We haven't even gotten into most of the things on our list. If Steven Tyler is 73, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
At what age are his fans supposed to stop flashing in public? There's got to be a cutoff, right? Also, it's very weird that we allow women to flash their boobs in public and not guys to flash their weens in public.
That's because boobs are not supposed to be sexual.
Also, there was legislation in the UK and Ireland that was passed to make sending unsolicited penis pictures actually illegal and punishable by jail time. So what age do we think? Is there a cutoff to women flashing it at concerts?
Although maybe he's like, I don't want to see your boobs. And that's unfortunate. If he's like, please stop showing me your boobs, and people just keep showing their boobs, that would be like me saying, please stop showing me your weens, and guys showing me their weens.
It would be. What if he was like a boob addict for a long time? And he's like, guys, don't show me boobs because then I fall down the path of just throwing myself into boobs all day. Stop showing them to me. And that's still happening to him on a daily basis. It's got to be tough. All right, moving on. So I'm assuming this is going to be a quick topic as well. The Reiki hair. Which you mentioned crystals.
Yes. This goes along with that. So today I'm getting my hair highlighted. I'm not getting it cut, but I'm getting it highlighted.
Okay.
At a new place called Frequency here in Seattle, and recommended by my friend Laura. I'm specifically going to Misty the Hair Healer.
Misty the Hair Healer?
Now, if you're blonde, you know, or if you get highlights that are blonde, you know that you can't just like willy-nilly walk into a place and be like, can you highlight my hair blonde? Like, you need a recommendation from another blonde.
Why?
Because it's not easy to do. Like,
I mean, my friend Robbie used to do it in the house.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah, okay,
you put
fine.
a net on, you stick a little hook in there.
He literally looked like he was in O-Town.
And then you highlight it.
The hook?
Yeah, you put a net, you put a cap on, and then you pull out the hairs with a little hook, and then you dye those.
So anyway.
Seems easy.
As you can tell, I haven't washed my hair in days because I knew I was going today. My roots are so bad. So anyway, I'm going to Misty the Hair Healer. I know nothing about her other than my friend Laura, who I trust a lot, was like, Misty's amazing. Go to her. That's where I get my highlights done. Okay. So I'm going to make my appointment with Misty the Hair Healer, thinking like that's just her Instagram name, and it's great because women should probably show up with hair that's completely fried.
Okay.
No. If you get a haircut by her, you can get a Reiki haircut, and they like heal your hair, and it's all about energy and cleansing. And then I started like looking into it, and there's all these articles on the internet about how we should be doing this because hair holds so many emotions, and we expect hair or we put so much emotion into hair. Like, think about it. When you go through a breakup, women, what do? We cut our hair. Like, there's always emotion with hair, and you can go get a Reiki haircut, and they will do a hair healing process. There's crystals involved in some cases.
What are they? Okay.
I also found out that there's a ton of Reiki haircut places in Seattle.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. What do they do with the crystal? Do they just like put a crystal on your head and they're like, oh, congratulations, your hair is healed?
So I don't know. There's no description of what exactly happens at this salon.
Okay.
That I could find on the interweb. But I did find, I think this one might be in California. They'll like ask you to choose a crystal, and then there is a chakra tickling scalp massage that happens. And
wait, say that again. A scalp
chakra, like color your chakra colors. I don't know what they do with it, but
is it your colors or your hair's colors? This is the question.
It's a great question. Actually, I don't know. Then there's sage involved.
So Coconut Love 75 in the chat says it sounds a bit scammy. I don't disagree.
I
now,
can see why one may think
know.
that. Well, I'm not getting a haircut today, so I'm going to go there to get my highlights, which is just regular.
But are they going to Reiki your hair?
That's if you get it cut, and so
they can only heal it if they cut it.
I would assume so. That makes sense because you're cutting out the impurities. So I'm going to scope out the scene. Maybe I'll get a cut.
So Krisha said that stuff never works for me because you have to believe it and feel it. I think it is one of those like placebo effect things, right? Like if you believe what's happening, if someone says, hey, I'm going to put this in your hair, and even if it does nothing, right? If someone says, I'm going to put this in your hair and you're going to feel so much better, if you truly believe the mysticism or whatever about it, then it probably will make you feel better because you've put so much value in the process, right? Is there actual scientific proof to any of this?
I mean, I've been charging these crystals in the window. Maybe I could just cut my hair and hold a crystal.
What have you been charging them for? When were they used? Where they had to be recharged?
They weren't. They're just supercharged.
They're super. So what do you do with them now? What kind of crystals do you have?
No idea what they are. I should know. My friend Laura sent me a note when she sent them. Different Laura.
Z from NYC said, did you check the reviews for this place specifically?
They are through the roof.
Does everyone say they have like hippie hair now?
Oh, what?
Like crystallized, happy hippie hair?
Yeah.
Well, I guess crystallized hair would not be good. Let's see. Martha says, I don't get crystals. I don't either. But you know what? If you believe
know what? If you guys lived back in the day when crystals were where we got our energy from, I bet you would like them. But now you drink your coffee and your Seattle gummies. Code CMA.
I was going to say, you use gummies and crystals then. You don't even really use crystals.
Because you lock them away in their little tower up there.
But again, it goes back to if you believe it, it probably works.
Well, maybe these crystals are cursing you because you don't believe them. I'm going to find out. Should I take them with me?
It's very similar to like having a good luck charm, right? Or what's another example? Or maybe something that you do every morning to give yourself
like
good luck or good vibes, like a ritual, right? It's not necessarily that thing actually has any real power, but you've given it power. And when you don't do it, you're now thinking about it all day. So any of the bad things that do happen, you attribute to the fact that you didn't charge your crystals or you didn't do that thing you do every morning.
Yeah.
And you've created this weird half-truth thing in your life.
I like that, Sonali. She said, crystals, Reiki, religion all come within you and are really just to help you survive the chaos we call this world.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, if people are like, oh, I went to church and Jesus helped me get through this, it's like, I could say, okay, but crystals helped me get through this. I sound crazier because these are rocks and that's a person that no one's ever met that's alive today.
No one's ever met. Yeah, but that's like saying, George Washington is alive or was alive. No one's met him that lives today. They're both real people.
Yeah, but that was sooner.
It doesn't matter. The thing you said is still the same.
But there's like people saying, okay, well, crystals worked for me.
That's exactly what my point was, though.
Right.
If you truly believe in it, I'm sure that it does work for you. We are going to move on, though, from the crystal hair. When are you doing that today?
Today? 4:45. I'll probably be there for 3 hours because being a blonde is torture.
Jeez. My haircut takes about 35.
I'm nervous, though.
40 minutes, and that's with a lot of conversating.
As much as Laura has told me that Misty is amazing and she's great with hair, going to a new hair place for the first time, especially if it's not just a cut, right? Like, okay, that'll grow back. They're about to put dye in my hair. Who knows what I'm going to look like tomorrow?
Yeah, you are going to need some healing after they dye and strip your hair. This is the question that came from Discord, and I believe this is Sonali?
Yeah.
Right, Carla Marie? So explain the question.
The question was, in a hypothetical situation, fantasy world, whatever, if you and your significant other now were in high school at the same time, so there were people that are like, yeah, but we're 10 years apart, that would be creepy. No. If your high school selves were in high school at the same time, would you have dated?
No.
Well, you didn't date anyone in high school.
Exactly. So it's an easy answer for me. There was no one that dated Anthony. Anthony didn't date anyone.
But I did like weird boys.
I was the weirdest.
So I probably would have been like,
I was the kid in high school.
We were on the track team together.
Yeah. I was the kid in high school who wore like pajama pants and a hoodie like every day.
Did you wear cologne?
I had cologne. I wasn't like
I liked the cologne. I was into the cologne.
I had cologne. I wasn't like a consistent cologne wearer, right? It wasn't like people knew I was like the cologne kid.
All right.
Cologne. But I did have cologne and I would wear it.
Jeans? You didn't look nice?
No, almost never.
Did you have long hair?
I did. Well, the last 2 years of high school, I had long hair.
See, I was scared of boys with long hair.
That was me.
So no.
It is weird when I did have my long hair, both in high school, college, and then a little bit after college. Like I had two main phases. It was interesting how many people would say they were intimidated by me with long hair. Now, keep in mind, I was 155 pounds. I basically looked like a Q-tip.
Okay, but like in high school, I was like 95.
I know, but when you looked at me then,
well, no,
I had big curly hair and a very, very tiny body. Right? Like there wasn't a lot. I wasn't that tall.
You were like a skinny Fabio.
I was more like.
But before I would say like now, right? Where a lot of guys have long hair. You go on TikTok, like every high school boy has long hair or whatever.
Well, they have the TikTok hair. It's like moppy. It's not. Yeah. I had long hair.
If you go back to the early 2000s and if there was a boy with long hair, in my mind, and I'm willing to bet all of my friends we were the same way. It's like he's hot, but that's scary.
There was a great Mitch Hedberg bit, and if you're not familiar with Mitch Hedberg, he was a phenomenal comedian. Died of an overdose in the early 2000s, but his whole thing was every time he had like medium to long length hair, he's like every time I meet a girl. and I go to her house, their father assumes that I just do drugs because I have long hair. It's like, I wish having long hair had some sort of other correlation. Like, you really like cake. Like, don't bring that boy around. He's going to eat all the cake. But there's a weird thing. Everyone used to assume that I smoked a lot of weed because I had long hair. Never smoked. Really?
And Krisha said, intimidated by long hair? What? I'm telling you, I'm not. How many girls said this to you?
A lot.
I would say now as an adult, no way. I love it. All the guys at Barry's, they have long hair. It's so hot.
But no, I mean, it would happen all the time.
Yeah.
Or when I cut it, women would be like, oh my God, when you had long hair, I was so intimidated. I'm like, well, I'm the same person. My head looks a little smaller now.
It does.
I have to adjust my hats to a smaller size. But other than that, same exact person. Even Lauren, who used to work for Elvis's show, she now is the voice of Elvis Duran in the morning show if you listen to any of the production. I remember her telling me that when she started working, because we started around the same time, she'd see me in the hallways. And she was like, I was so intimidated. You were just this like cool guy with long hair.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was not cool. I did have long hair, though.
That's true.
At the end of high school, my hair was like down to my shoulders. And then I guess when I was like 24 or 25, I had grown it out again throughout the end of college. And it was like down to my shoulders as well. When it was straightened, it was almost like mid bicep.
Lenny's putting photos of you.
Yeah, that's not how I looked all the time, though. But I did look like that at one point.
It's so hard for me to pull it up. But every time Anthony calls me, the contact photo, I can't like.
This was the second time I grew my hair out. This was when I started at KTU. I believe the picture was taken after one of our beat stock events, and we all went down to my parents' beach house to party. Where is it?
What do you mean? Where
I thought it was in your contact.
I know, but I can't like get to it easily. Come on.
And I don't think we've. Oh, there it is. That was me.
Like, that's intimidating, walking around with your shirt off at work like that.
I wasn't at work. I literally jumped into the ocean right before that picture was taken.
Kenny G.
Yeah, there's very Kenny G, Yanni, Jesus.
But like Anthony in high school, that was you, right? Long hair. I was like blonde, captain of the cheerleading squad, class president, student council, peer mediation.
You know what's funny? So two of my really good friends in high school, Angela and Jen, they were the captains of the cheer team, blonde, like very similar to all those attributes you just listed, Carla Marie. And I did have crushes on both of them. But they never had, generally speaking, the story of my life for a long time was everyone I had a crush on did not have a crush on me.
Okay, they didn't have a crush on you, but if I would have been the one, like, I feel like I would have been the one on AIM that would have been like, you're cute, want to hang out or something.
No one ever did that with me. I was great on AIM. And I had AIM game, right? Like before AIM, I was terrible at talking to girls. Once AIM showed up, AOL Instant Messenger, that's when I like started crafting my game, if you will, but like the way that I spoke to women and flirted. And this is like middle of high school, really, it took off.
Do you think you're rusty now?
No, I think I'm actually better at it now. Because I don't care.
It's true.
Right? Like, I think I have a flirty personality.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people tell me that. And I think the fact that I don't care means that when I do meet a new woman, they probably get vibes. Like, they probably would fall for me faster now that I'm in a relationship and don't care. And I have like a very free experience speaking with them. Than if I was actually trying to hook up with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Millennials, the radio fam. Millennials are the best sexters because of the AIM days.
Yeah.
I don't think I was really saying sexual things on AIM.
No, but you weren't. And I hope you weren't. And that's not what I'm talking about. I wasn't like sexting women through AIM.
We were definitely talking about like what base everybody was going to.
No, I wasn't even doing that. It was just, I was able, and that's why I'm when I do actually answer my phone and text back, I think I'm a good texter as well. It's just you learned at a very young age, as you were learning how to communicate, you learned how to do it digitally.
Yeah, no, you should go back to school then for that because you're a terrible communicator, digitally and in person.
I choose not to text back anymore. That's the difference. I used to be on AIM as often as possible or as long as possible until someone called my parents' home phone and kicked me off. Do you remember when you had Napster? And
you were downloading a song for 47 hours?
Well, not even that. You would specifically look on Napster and LimeWire because it would tell you the type of connection the person had and who you were downloading it from.
And if it was
so it would say
yellow
T3,
or red?
It would say T3.
But they would have
T1,
colors.
T3. Yeah, they had colors. Dial-up, cable, T1, and T3, I think were the 4 categories. And you would specifically search for your favorite song, and you would search for the best connection so it didn't take you 35 minutes to download a 3-minute song. And you'd be scanning the library.
Man, my playlists were so fire back then because I had to work for them, you know? It wasn't like random songs like, I kind of like this song. No, I had to work for it, so they were great.
Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia going on right now. Napster, AIM chats. Oh, and actually there's a podcast that we spoke about Lauren before. So Lauren, I think, used to work with a guy that you've probably seen on TikTok.
BMO the Prince.
Yeah, BMO the Prince. He's the guy, black dude who does a lot of the millennial versus Gen X versus
Love it.
Boomer TikTok videos
So
where
good.
he's playing all the different parts. I'm guarantee you, I've probably shared a couple of his videos. They did a podcast because BMO the Prince and Lauren have a podcast together. They did a podcast with I'm 30 AF.
The best Instagram account ever.
And I think their whole thing, it's all nostalgia based, obviously. And they did a thing, SNCC versus TGIF.
TGIF wins.
I don't know. I think I would disagree with that.
Let me put that in.
But definitely check that out if you want to be nostalgic and enjoy that space. You can check that out. We also did a podcast, a Valentine's Day podcast that you may not know exists yet.
We forgot about that.
Want to explain that?
We did it with Sandals Resorts on their Palmcast, and we recorded an entire episode about all the romance you get when you stay at a Sandals Resort.
Mm-hmm. And basically why Sandals is like the best place for celebrating Valentine's Day or just any day that you're celebrating love, whatever that is. What are you doing there?
I put nonsense and nostalgia in here. Someone said, do you remember Kazaa? Is it Kazaa or Kazam?
No, it was Kazaa.
Kazaa.
It was Kazaa.
Reading that.
There was LimeWire, BearShare.
What was the one you could use only when you were connected to your school's internet? We had a specific one at Rutgers. Was it Kazaa?
I don't know. I used LimeWire. I used all of them at Seton Hall.
There was a specific one. Somebody remember?
I can't imagine because we actually got laptops from school. We were like one of the first schools that did that.
Oh.
And it was a partnership with Microsoft. I can't imagine how many viruses, because you would give your laptop back after 2 years and you'd get a new one. And then if you graduated, you got to keep it. I can't imagine how many viruses were on those laptops and how much porn was probably on those laptops.
Okay.
That the school just gave people.
The fact that you went to a college just gave out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is the
Yeah, so
podcast.
I remember, and if anyone has any other file, specifically music sharing servers that you used, there was Napster, Kazaa, BearShare was actually really good, and LimeWire. Those are the 4 that I can think of.
I have to use the ladies' room.
Okay.
Can you explain to Augie
For the record, we have a gender-neutral bathroom here.
Right,
We don't
you are
have a ladies'
correct.
room.
I'm going to use the ladies' room, though. Augie,
You're using the room as a lady.
Yes,
It's different.
that's what I meant. Can you explain to Augie what these programs mean?
Yeah, so all of the programs, before you had music libraries that we subscribe to now, like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, any of those. And Napster, I think, still exists as a Spotify competitor. Oh, Pirate Bay was a good one as well. Before that, before you would subscribe and labels would give their music to one of these services, you had file sharing services, which was technically, I guess, illegal or made illegal. But basically, if I had a bunch of music on my computer, I would create an account or load them into Napster, and people could then download them directly from me. So you weren't streaming it. You were actually downloading the file and then owning it, and you could put it on whatever device you wanted. So all of these platforms did essentially the same thing. You would search other people's music libraries and download songs from them. And it could only survive based on the users also sharing things. So there had to be enough people sharing their own music for other people to download it from. Groove Shark was one of those services. I always thought Groove Shark was just like a music player. But yeah, you would download the MP3s and then you were good.
Look what I found.
Oh, there's the bad cat.
Well, actually, John was the bad one last night, but she did not, she wasn't innocent.
Why is she in here?
Because she was cute, and I couldn't help it.
Oh, God, she's falling. And she's going to unplug. We're going to lose internet for the record. The show is going to be over. Oh, she's over there now.
Oh, I let me let her out.
And then the other thing you had, so sometimes you would download a file and you couldn't preview it. You just had to take the person at their word. So some people would download viruses.
Oh, porn.
Sometimes there'd be porn sounds instead of the song that you actually wanted to download.
I mean, and computers,
or a really bad version of the song.
And computers were not equipped to fight viruses like they are now.
No.
Like, it was absurd.
The other thing you would do, because I feel like if you don't remember the age of Napster and BearShare and LimeWire, you probably also don't know the struggle of trying to change your music with a CD book as you're driving.
I saw a meme the other day that was like talking about how people are so distracted texting and driving, and they had I have a CD book here, but they had their giant CD book out.
And it was like 4 CDs per page.
It was like a binder.
I had the 2 CD per page the book, which was a lot easier to manage because it was 2 on one side, you flip it, now you've got 4. Instead of the 4 page, the 4 CD one you'd have 8 when you opened it up.
Did you have the rectangle that was 2? Because there's the one that was like wide. I had the rectangle. Just your standard single.
Oh, yeah, the single one.
I had a bigger one, but right now
Did you have the visor CD holder?
I had that.
The visor CD holder was clutch.
I had one here.
And that was actually the safest thing. Even though you had to look at your visor, you're still kind of looking at the road.
No.
So you're good.
None of it.
The book, I mean, this is crazy to think because now if you have your phone in your hand, even if it's up in front of the windshield and you can see, people will yell at you and you'll get a ticket. When you had the big CD book, like all of my friends had, you were looking down at your passenger seat and flipping pages of this book, not looking at the road at all. Every now and then you check.
I have but this is my problem. I have so many CDs here that I have burned that I think they're titled, who they were for, what they were about, but we have no way to play them.
I have a CD player.
Where?
In there somewhere.
What is it, a Walkman?
No, I have a CD player that you could plug in. Well, it's a DVD player, really, but it plays CDs, and you could plug it into a computer. Because a lot of, back in the day, laptops used to have a CD compartment, and they don't have that anymore.
All right, we're going to play, I think maybe next week, we'll do my mixtapes.
Well, then we're not going to be able to, we can't
play. Well, if we play 10 seconds.
That's true. We can play very quick parts of it. Yeah, and we still called them mixtapes, even though they were mixed CDs. I remember there was 2 CDs that girls made for me. Everything else I would make by myself. But that was also a way to flirt with a person you liked. You'd make them a mix CD. Oh, 3 girls.
Who did you just remember?
No, I remembered one of the reasons I really got into the pop punk emo scene. I had started listening to it at the end of college or at the end of high school. But early in college, there was a girl in one of my classes named Amy. And she made me a mix CD, and then she made me another CD that had the Taking Back Sunday and brand new albums on it, back to back.
Amy clearly liked you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did you not like Amy?
A little bit.
Where was the disconnect?
I don't know. She was cool.
Can you hear? You can't hear anything.
Yeah, I can.
No, stop it.
What else? So that was, we got into a whole high school debate, but basically I think the answer for us, to get back to the question that Sunali asked in Discord, which was?
Would you date your current significant other if you were in high school at the same time?
No. And that's not to say that I wouldn't have wanted to or been attracted to Carla Marie in high school. It's just that I didn't date anyone in high school. I was great at talking to girls on AIM. I was terrible at talking to them in person. And I was the weird kid in high school. So it's doubtful. At the very best, it's doubtful.
I could have made you unweird. Didn't what is that? In She's All That. Yeah?
Carla Marie.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, I was the girl with paint on her overalls from Not Another Teen Movie, if you remember that. Let's see. The other question or topic that we have here, we have 2 more. Can you enjoy a new relationship if you have a crazy ex? Now, this clearly, if you wrote it, Carla Marie, I feel like this is a Kanye, Skeet Davidson thing.
The other day I said to Anthony, you know what? All right, strip away all the money and whatever of their lives. I feel bad for Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, right? So say they are trying to have a real relationship right now. Imagine just what they have to go through. They go on a date and they just are, what's Kanye going to say about this? Like, must be all they're talking about. Plus, she has to worry about the kids. Where are they? Where is she leaving them? Because if she has a sitter or if if they're staying with the family member, like, what if he shows up there and you're not with the kids? Like, it's just...
So there's a couple things.
Normal people deal with this as well.
Of course.
But me in this situation was like, I feel bad for them, whether you like Pete Davidson, like Kim Kardashian, whatever. How do you have a normal relationship right now?
So there's a couple things. I think some things are obviously way worse in their relationship, right? Some things like the fact that your ex has one of the largest social media platforms in the world, that part sucks, right? Because normally, even if you have an angry ex who takes to Twitter or Instagram or whatever, they're talking to like 600 people.
Max.
Right? They're not talking to millions and millions, and World Star and TMZ aren't following and posting everything that they say to make that reach even. Because I don't follow Kanye, but I see everything he posts because of World Star.
Like, everything Kanye is doing, Kim has every right to get a restraining order.
Now, there are better parts of it, though. So, in the real world, a crazy ex-husband or ex-wife showing up and driving away with one of your kids is like a real worry. All right? That's a real thing that can happen, and it happens all the time. Or maybe you have, like, they have their visitation day, and then they just drive off with your kid. That's a real thing that real families deal with. I don't think, and I know you brought up, like, what if the kids are with a sitter? I don't see that being something that Kanye would do.
You can't, you literally cannot say that.
He is too big of a star to do something that brazenly illegal and dumb. I just don't see that happening.
I don't even mean, I just mean, like, as the mom, right? You want to be around in this current situation, right? You want to be around when your ex is around the kids. So when you leave your home, he showed up outside of their home with flowers. Now, granted, they live in a fortress, whatever, and a pickup truck full of flowers. Like, the kids can still see these things or know what's going on.
Well, and their kids,
I would be so
whether their
scared to leave
kids
them.
know that it's going on now, they will know, right? Because everything is documented. Everything lives on the internet forever. This will be on their Wikipedia page. The interesting thing, though, is when they first broke up, I think it was before the Pete Davidson thing happened.
Yeah, definitely.
When they first broke up, I remember thinking to myself, because Kanye bought the house across the street. And I was like, you know what? And in that moment, I was like, I actually like that. And hear me out. You've got to remember, this is before Kanye started tweeting crazy things about Pete Davidson.
And telling people to kill him.
All of that. This is before that. I thought to myself, you know what? For the kids, it probably would have been a good thing for your parents to live near each other. Right? You don't have to change your life that much. Because I remember growing up when my friends from high school had parents who were divorced. They'd have to, go to the dad's house 7 towns over for a weekend.
Yeah,
and
they also have private jets to fly them wherever they need to go.
And you'd get disconnected from your regular life. Like, you have to pack a bag. You couldn't see your regular friends. Or you spend a summer in a different state, whatever it is. It was cool to see that he was, at the time, I thought, trying to be a good, involved father. Now it has deteriorated to him almost being a stalker.
No,
not
almost.
It's not as cute as I thought it was when he first did it.
Right.
When he first did it, I was all for it. I was like, oh, that's a dad wanting to make sure he's involved in his kid's life.
Fred the mailman said living near my ex would not have been good for my kids.
But I think that's also a relationship by relationship thing. It's a situational thing. Like, I have my one of the girls I actually dated at the end of college, after college, her parents were great friends, and they lived, I believe, in the same town. And the dad would come over to help with things if the mom needed it. Like, they had a great relationship. I also have friends whose parents hated each other. So it's a situational thing in that regard in terms of the proximity of where they live.
Angela in Spokane said, it pisses me off that it takes this situation with Kim and Kanye to get people to finally talk about a crazy abusive ex-husband that a wife is scared of. This stuff has been happening to normal people for decades. Maybe now people will start to take women seriously when they talk about domestic abuse. Completely agree with that. I don't think it should piss you off that this is the situation, because when it happened to my mom in the 80s or whenever the hell, 80s, there wasn't social media. There wasn't this way that everyone connected. So I wouldn't say, don't be mad that it's taking this situation. Be happy that it's finally happening.
I agree with you 100%, Carla Marie, because at least it's happening, right? Because who knows if this wasn't going on publicly with Kim and Kanye, and it's still unfortunate for the kids that this is going on publicly. It's unfortunate for Kim that it's happening at all. But if this wasn't, we probably wouldn't be having a national conversation about it. And this is going to sound super callous, but the reason is the general population doesn't care about what Cindy and Joe are dealing with in the middle of Minnesota.
No.
It's not a national conversation because no one knows who they are. No one knows the info. They're not celebrities. But when celebrities do it, we all know who they are, so we can all jump in
and
with
give our
opinion.
opinions that are...
and you watch it play out.
Yeah.
You watch the craziness play out. So
it's not even that they're celebrities, it's that social media is involved as well.
Yeah, but even if this was... What I'm saying is,
Yes.
even if regular people were doing this on social media, very few people would care.
Which I've seen people on Facebook that I know personally do this, and I'm like, ooh.
Scotty, enjoy your meeting. But to go back to the original question, can you enjoy a new relationship if you have a crazy ex? I think you have to, right? Because most people do. I think a lot of people go through this, not to the level of the craziness that Kanye is doing. I don't think every single person has a maniac as an ex, although we might think they are. Generally speaking, when you start a new relationship, very rarely is that person 100% unattached and single. There's usually someone, right? There's an old ex that they hook up with every now and then, or there's a fling that they were hooking up with. Like, everyone starts a new relationship with a little bit of attached baggage.
That's fair.
And you just deal with it, right? You might be... there was a girl I dated for a while who we'd be out, and her ex would be blowing up her phone. And it was just like, it was just something you dealt with. What? She would silence it, and that was it.
Because he was crazy? Why didn't you beat him up?
I didn't know who he was.
What do you mean?
I didn't know him personally.
Find him.
I never saw him in my life. So, but it's true. And part of that is just people don't like being alone. So there's always usually someone that they can reach out to when they are lonely. Whether that's a crazy ex or whether that's just a hookup they met at a bar and it's like their dick appointment, if you will.
I have decided that if we break up, I'm going to rent out this house. Me and the cats are going to go explore the world alone, and it's going to be the best.
Cool. Go for it.
The best of that situation.
Go for it.
Not the best. Like, truly, that is what I will do.
Oh, this is a great comment from UD Flyer 08. He says, I think you would enjoy the relationship more.
New relationship.
Because the new relationship more because you're not with the crazy person. That's true. You have something to compare, right?
But I just feel like so much of them get it. Like, so much of a new relationship is talking to one another and learning about one another. But you're having this conversation, and then Kim's like, oh, Kanye's outside my house with flowers right now. Like, there's just...
This is actually something you could answer, Carla Marie. Your last boyfriend...
Yeah.
You dated his friend beforehand, right? So you guys were dating, but you dealt with a lot of nonsense.
I did, actually. You're right. Didn't even make the comparison of myself.
Did that ruin your new relationship? Because you still were in that relationship for 5 years.
No, it didn't ruin it.
And actually explain, because I kind of...
A large part of my relationship was, in the beginning, talking about what's going to happen when he's around, what's going to happen when I see his family, because I was always in situations where his family was also around. And was always having that conversation, even with my current significant other's family at the time. Like, it was, and then this happened. Or the mom would be like, oh, and I saw him today, and this happened. Like, it was definitely the first year of our relationship. And then eventually, it would still happen. But the first year, like, and I felt like I was just, like, wearing this scarlet letter, like, it's my fault that this is happening all the time. So I would say, like, maybe Pete feels that, or maybe Kim feels that. Either way, but again, no matter what, it was not on the level.
Of course. Although, wasn't his dad calling you a whore in the street or something?
Yeah.
So it wasn't...
Which again, if this happened now, I would have literally been on the phone with the police department immediately, writing up a police report.
I don't think you could go to jail for calling someone a whore, though.
No, but if he did it enough, and said stuff to me enough, I could have gotten a restraining order.
Yeah. This is a great comment from Mega Damien. She said, if I'm Pete, I'm dipping out. Brand new relationship is not worth my life. I don't think Pete Davidson's actually going to get killed, even though
Kanye's telling people to kill him.
Well, what Kanye said in his most recent post was a whole thing about how much he loves his family and he appreciates all the support, blah, blah, blah. And then right after he wrote, but if you see Skeet in the street, yell in his face, Kimye forever. But here's what you also have to remember with what Pete Davidson is going through. People will suffer and sacrifice if the prize at the end is worth it. And much like, what's his name? Ben Affleck is going through with A-Rod making public statements about him and J-Lo.
Yeah, that's nothing.
It's nothing, but the headache is worth it because he goes home to J-Lo at the end of the day. Right?
Yeah, that's probably how my ex felt.
Pete Davidson gets to go home to Kim Kardashian every day.
So my ex was like, I get to go home with Carla Marie.
I'm sure it was exactly the same. Right? No one's doing that for me. No one's saying I'm going to deal with crazy Kanye so I can date Anthony. Because the prize, it's a decent prize.
I feel like that's what I say because you're all like, oh, I love Kanye's music and seeing him perform. And I'm like, shut up.
If this was a carnival, the type of prize I would be those styrofoam planes that you put together and you throw. They're really fun.
Oh, I was thinking a Chinese finger trap.
No, they're really fun. But I'm not like the 4-foot tall teddy bear prize at a carnival.
I'll be honest. I think I actually went for the airplanes more.
No,
because
they were also disposable. They would break pretty easily. That's just, you got to know what type of prize you are. Because you have to know what type of work the person's going to put in to win you. And Kim and J-Lo, everyone's going to put in as much work as humanly possible.
I remember one time we did the water balloon game. And we won, where you popped the water balloon.
Yes.
And we won a mini magnifying glass, and my dad lost his shit on the guy. And we got other prizes.
What did he say?
It was like, absolutely. First of all, they won. Second of all, the amount of money that I just gave you is for not a mini magnifying glass. So we got other toys.
And a lot of people are saying, because I mentioned how when you brought up earlier, Carla Marie, that Kim, when she leaves her kids, has to be worried about Kanye.
Yeah. The
reason I don't think she has to be worried necessarily is everything's happening publicly. So it's not like Kanye is going to come in and a babysitter's going to be like, oh, you're the cool dad that I don't know all the bullshit that you guys are going through. Like the babysitter or whoever's taking care of them knows.
Kris Kardashian.
And I will say this, the size of the Kardashian family is also a good thing, right? Like if Kim needs to leave, there are a lot of family members that can take care of the kids if they so choose. They can pay for security. They can pay for the best, whatever, monitoring. And it's not that I don't think Kanye left on his own could be or would be dangerous or do something erratic. I just think that he's in the public eye so much and everyone knows where Kanye is at all times that I don't think Kanye is as much of a threat as a regular crazy dad in the middle of America somewhere.
Yeah.
I think Kanye is, people at least know where he is. Mm-hmm. And there are people who, even if they don't care about him as a person or care about his safety, they care about the money that he brings into them. And they will step in if they think it's going to get to that level. And that's my 2 cents. If this blows up and Kanye does something crazy, I will 100% admit that I was wrong.
But and we didn't even talk about the Billie Eilish stuff last week. And
the Billie Eilish thing is real weird. Apparently, and if you're not keeping up with all of the different crazy things that Kanye is doing, probably to promote his next album, there is now beef between Kanye and Billie Eilish. They both should be performing
at Coachella.
Kanye on Sunday, Billie Eilish on Saturday, I believe.
So Billie Eilish was performing somewhere and noticed one of the fans near the very front was like having trouble breathing. And she caught and she was like, hold on, stop everything, stop the music. Like, are you okay? And this has happened with me at a Taking Back Sunday concert to my friend. Like, artists will stop down the show from time to time if they see something happening. Mm-hmm. And she was like, stop, are you all right? Like, take a breath. Whatever ended up happening, she stopped the show. And then was like, hey, we look out for our people here. Like, look out for one another, whatever. Kanye took that as Billie Eilish saying Travis Scott didn't do this at his show.
Yeah.
Never once did she mention Travis Scott. Never once did she throw a dig. And now Kanye is after, how old is Billie Eilish? 19, 20 years old?
Yeah, 19, I think.
20-year-old female being like, you need to apologize or I'm backing out of Coachella. This isn't right. How could you do that to Travis? Well, first of all, no one is sticking up for Travis Scott at all right now. That's one. Two, that's not what she said.
Yeah.
And three, his track record of yelling at young women for shit that they actually didn't do, it has nothing to do with them, is becoming a problem.
Well, it's a track record of 2. It's Taylor and her.
Yeah, well, don't fuck with those people.
Let's see.
See? Thank you, Dana.
Yeah. And that's a wackier thing, and I like that Billie Eilish isn't even really like entertaining it. She commented once and was basically done.
Okay, boomer.
I also think the other part of the Kanye thing, we spent way too much time talking about this. We're going to move on to the next subject in a second. Kanye, with the 2 people that he has beef with right now, right, which is Kim Kardashian, and I guess Pete Davidson by proxy, if you will, and Billie Eilish, are so great at controlling the narrative and being media trained that he's going up against the Kardashian in the public is one of the stupidest things you can do, because that family knows how to control the narrative. Mm-hmm. They know how to act exactly in the right ways to get people behind them. As much as hated as they are, they do a very good job of controlling the media and controlling the stories around them. And Billie Eilish is so smart in the way that she handles herself, especially for a 19-year-old in the public eye, that Kanye is going up against 2 of the worst people he could go up against in the public eye and on social media.
Like, who are Kanye actual fans at this point?
Of him as a person, there's still a lot. But you know what's actually...
Like, are you going to stream his album?
What was that?
Are you going to, like, stream his album?
A couple of his songs are on... First off, one of the best albums of all time in terms of hip-hop is Watch the Throne with Kanye and Jay-Z.
I like Through the Wire.
Through the Wire is a phenomenal song. Which brings up, God, stop bringing up all these good things I can talk about with Kanye.
No, we're not.
There's a video that's been surfacing because there's a documentary called Yeezus.
Everyone in the chat has been saying it.
So
I almost watched it last night, and then I didn't.
There's a video of him going into, at the time, I believe it was the Rockefeller or Def Jam president's office, right? And it's a black woman that he barges into her office, and there's a video crew, and he starts playing Through the Wire. And everyone's like, oh my God, this is what's wrong with labels. That president didn't even react to the song, even though it's like an all-time classic. But the story really behind that is that Kanye barged into her office without an appointment.
Yeah.
With a camera person.
That's scary.
With a camera person, and just started playing the song and reacting to it. So she actually
was frightened.
Did a phenomenal job of just sitting there being like, I'm not going to react. There's a camera here. She probably wasn't even listening to the song because she was so annoyed as to how Kanye did that.
Yeah. I'd be like, get the fuck out of my office. Yeah. Court said, her husband, Mike said he can 100% differentiate between Kanye's music and his personality. He said he's a piece of shit, but he makes great music.
Yes. And
that's how I feel about Ignition.
There's a song that came up yesterday I have a mix called Monster Mode. And
what? Please explain what
Monster Mode. I originally started, I wanted all songs that referenced like scary things. So I have Monster.
Is this for Halloween?
No, it's for working out, like aggressive songs. So I have Monster by Kanye, Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj. Great song, a little too long. Wolves by Big Sean and Post Malone. Then Monster by Meek Mill. Godzilla with Eminem featuring Juice WRLD. Dreams and Nightmares. F vs. J, which is Freddie vs. Jason. What else do we have here?
I'm going to request that you don't listen to this music.
100 Black Coffins, phenomenal song by Rick Ross. Anyway, on, I think it's Power or Mercy, one of the 2 songs that Kanye is on. And keep in mind, this is way before the Pete Davidson thing. I guess they had made fun of him on SNL years prior, and he like curses out SNL again.
Yep.
It's like, there's a lot of prophetic stuff that Kanye has done in his music. But yeah, I think I can separate the crazy Kanye versus the Kanye that makes the music that I really like. And again, some of his albums are my favorite albums. College Dropout, classic. They're all good songs. If someone puts on Good Life right now with Kanye and T-Pain at any bar in America,
I love T-Pain.
People are going to lose their minds.
Nah, it's because I love T-Pain.
I mean, he has the hook. Let's see. Brittany Butt said, Anthony, I was listening to your playlist yesterday.
Isn't T-Pain's story in that song show I watched about how Kanye screwed him over?
I don't know.
It's what is that song show on Netflix about songs?
Let's see. Tacoma Swifty, I'm sure she's responding to someone else about not listening to their music to not give them power.
Yeah.
The interesting thing with Kanye.
This is why we need LimeWire.
Yeah, right. If I just stole all his music. The interesting thing with Kanye is if everyone today stopped listening to his music, if no one ever listened to another song on Spotify, if he never released another album and no one bought it, it wouldn't matter because he makes all of his money most of his money now off of his clothing line. His collaborations with Adidas and with The Gap make him so much money.
Oh yeah, the sneakers.
He makes it's an insane amount of money.
Okay, so I highly suggest watching this series. I'm not finished with it. Actually, you would probably like that one, Anthony. The Boys to Men Effect. Okay, so the series is called This Is Pop. Oh, Song Exploder is another one, but it's This Is Pop, and it's episode 2. You don't have to watch them in order. Looks like it's episode 2. It's called Auto Tune, and it's all with T-Pain and how like he was an actual singer. Like the man can sing. He won Masked Singer. He is an amazing singer, but just got into the auto-tune world, and that became what he was known for, and that's became when he blew up, and then everyone only thought it was about auto-tune, and Usher like basically tells him he's ruining music. Thank you, Sawyer. It was Usher, not Kanye. But I think there was a Kanye story in there too. Either way, all of these episodes are amazing. I haven't finished them, but like there's one about Britpop. So you have like Oasis and Blur and how like their feud was happening. It's really, really cool.
There's a great comment by Jordy Matthew in the Twitch chat that says Kanye took T-Pain's formula of singing over drums on 808s and Heartbreaks. And 808s and Heartbreaks really is a slightly better version of T-Pain's rapper turned singer.
And I'm okay, so change the game for artists such as, he basically talks about how Kanye stole everything he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck Kanye, I'm out.
But it's funny too, and we've talked about this before, at what point do you cut off an artist, right? Like, we still listen to artists who have done illegal things. I mean, Frank Sinatra was arrested a handful of times.
For what? Was it like...
I don't know. Probably got into a fight or something. But
that's right.
The artists get into trouble, and we all make our decisions as to who to support and who to not based on how we feel about what they've done.
Seduction.
Oh, was he trying to get a prostitute?
Which we said was okay. What we said was...
The law didn't.
It was dropped that he supposedly... Oh, it was discovered that the supposedly single woman was in fact married.
Wait, so he got arrested for...
But then he was arrested for adultery.
You can be arrested for that?
Back then, maybe.
Kayla says, I'm sure people still listen to R. Kelly despite everything. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I don't like actively go out of my way, but if the song comes on, I'm not like, I'm leaving.
What's funny is when I was with my cousin Michelle, we were talking about that, about how, Remix to Ignition is one of the best party songs that everyone gets crazy for, and it just kind of died for the most part. And then I was thinking to myself, well, what was the original Ignition? Because this is the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen, right?
Right. So
we did stream R. Kelly's regular Ignition, more just to be like, I never heard the song. I'd like to hear it. And that was a lot. That was the first and only time in the past probably 5 years, at least, that I've listened to an R. Kelly song.
What should happen is we should still get to enjoy their music, but all of the money should go to whatever, to some specific charity for abuse survivor or whatever it is. And we would stream away and enjoy the music, and they get nothing. You should lose all of your royalties.
I was just having this discussion the other day with someone. I think what should happen if you get convicted of something, right?
Yeah.
So like even Sam Hunt, who got convicted of drunk driving.
Agreed.
I think all the songs up until that point, someone else should be allowed to record. That should be like, that should be part of the conviction.
Yeah.
Someone who sounds like you gets to re-record your songs and put them up. Yeah, almost like the Taylor Swift.
No. I say
version.
you just change where the bank account, where the money goes. Like change the direct deposit.
That's fair. I'm cool with that.
So that I can listen to Driving Down a Back Road, and the money's going to something else.
But again, Sam Smith was Sam Hunt was the example we brought up last time we talked about this. I mean, drunk driving is a serious thing, and he was caught drunk driving, convicted of drunk driving. It's a very dangerous thing for the people around you.
Yeah.
Now, is it as bad as what R. Kelly did? No. But then we have to start. It gets really sketchy when we start drawing lines as to what we accept as illegal activity and what we don't accept as illegal activity.
I think there are certain things that are more excusable than others, but depending on who you are and what has happened to you in your life.
And Karina from NYC brings up a good point, because I was actually just thinking about this outside of the music world. At what point has someone paid enough for their wrongdoings? And I thought about this because I saw Mike Tyson in an interview somewhere, and he was saying something pretty prophetic and smart. And I was just thinking to myself, like, this is someone who was jailed and imprisoned
For punching a woman?
for rape.
Oh, even worse.
Right? And that's like a terrible thing. You should spend your time. And this goes...
All of your life? Yes.
Well, this is more of a conversation that we're not necessarily even smart enough to have or have enough time for. It's, what is our justice system supposed to do? Are you supposed to spend time in jail or in prison and then come out and still pay for those?
Right. Or is your time in prison?
Or is that the punishment? And we've said as a community, once they're out, they've served their time for their deed. I don't know.
The problem is our justice system is supposed to help you, or what is the purpose? Like, for me, it would mean not just are you going to jail because you did something bad, but if you're coming back out, you should be reformed. You should learn. You should understand why. You should watch videos of victims and listen to their stories. You should have to go through a mental change and not just live in a cell. And you should come back into this world a better person. But what happens? You have so many repeat offenders because they just go to jail, get mentally abused, physically abused, and come out, and we expect them to be better people for being beat and mentally fucked for years.
So there's 2 points in the chat. One is Nick Wax saying it's supposed to enrich the owners of private prisons, which is clearly the only thing that it does well. And then Jordy Matthews said jail needs to be abolished. People need rehabilitation, not caged. But I think there's an argument for both, because you can say, okay, well, people need to be reformed, not caged. Okay, and that's fine. What if it's a murderer or a rapist or someone, a crazy offense?
Like,
let's say the system has reformed them. Okay, do you still want that person living next to you?
No, and then that makes people be like, all right, I'm going to commit murder. They're going to reform me and I'll come back out.
And again, we don't have the time to go down that path, but much like holding artists accountable for their misdeeds, I think it's a larger conversation as to at what point have you paid the price for that deed? And do you pay it forever? I don't know. I don't have that answer. The last thing on the list is, what is this? High fives and handshakes.
We could save it.
No, wait, it's on the list. We got to do it.
So I was watching Queer Eye.
Okay, good. We're going to get into a happier place, I hope, right?
Yeah, I have questions.
Good.
And I noticed, like, it was specifically Karamo walked into the scene, and he went to go shake someone's hand, and I noticed that, like, as a female, I shake someone's hand or hug them. But I want to do the cool handshake.
What is it?
Like when guys are like, sup?
Oh, one of those?
I'm like, what offended? I did that.
That would be a little weird, actually.
Girls don't get to do that.
They can.
No. If I went to go meet someone or, like, saw a friend I hadn't seen in a while, and I was like,
I guess people would just assume you were lesbians for some reason. They'd be like, oh, they probably play college basketball. I don't know.
Okay.
No, because it's
okay,
because
so you need to make those two things different.
No, that is very different. And the reason I say that is I feel like anytime, because we have in our minds said that is something that guys do when they meet one another.
Right.
And I feel like if you saw two women doing that, I feel like the first assumption would be like, oh, maybe they're lesbians. And that's why they're doing that bro hug.
But hugs are way better.
It's literally called a bro hug.
Claire, we should all do that at the Seattle cocktail event.
You could. Let's see.
B-Delp says, my husband's cousins always do the handshake thing with me. And I'm like, no, hug me. Yeah. It is true. Like, I'm a hugger. But that is a mix.
Wait, maybe. The reason it doesn't happen often in guy-girl handshakes is like, that's almost like a chest bump.
Yeah, but if I hug someone,
I guess a hug is the same thing. But I think what I do when I hug people that I don't know well, you kind of do like an ass out hug.
Yeah, but my boobs, trust me, my boobs are always touching that person.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've never really given that any thought because I can do a bro hug. Even though we've now assigned a gender to a greeting.
Stupid.
Which is something that we do to
It's a high five handshake. No, it's a hug shake.
It's
A hug 5 hand.
I don't know.
Hand hug 5. It's a high five, a handshake, and a hug together. You need to use the H's. So it's a high hand hug, or a hand high hug, or a hand hug high.
What else do we have here? Maybe the height difference also.
It's the same as a hug, though.
Yeah, but I also think, like, very rarely, even though we call them hugs, they're oftentimes like, they're quick hugs, or they're like a side embrace. You do like one of these, like, oh, hey, what's up? Like, it's not.
Don't do that.
I don't know.
Fred, that's a great point. Bros don't wear as many rings as women do. Those things hurt during your bro handshake.
That is true.
We have 2 on. Well,
are we back to doing hugs and handshakes? Is that like a thing now?
I
feel like the people I've seen at the gym, I just do, and this is normal. I do like the fist bump.
I've been shaking hands. But
What's his name? Howie Mandel. He just does fist bumps.
I'm always like, what do I do? Are you okay? Yeah, we learned nothing. I'm high-fiving, handshaking, hugging, all the things.
You know, Sean T., who you might know from a lot of the Beachbody classes and stuff like that, big fitness instructor guy, when he showed up to our studio in Seattle to do an interview one day, and this is a guy who I've known like through other work things, and we've become friends. It was funny. I did kind of the bro hug thing with him, right? Where you kind of do like a back tap and then you're done. You release.
What we just did.
And he was the one who was like, don't be scared to actually hug.
Yeah, I love Sean T.
And I thought about it for a second, and I still don't. It's not like I hold every person that I hug.
So this
yeah
is a guy's way of being like, I want to hug you, but I got to do something bro-y first.
Kind of, yeah.
Hug people.
Yeah. But I also like
Never mind, I don't want to do it.
Just like it would be weird for us normally, right? If we're basing life on stereotypes, which we often do. It would be weird, just as weird as it would be to see 2 girls at the gym do the bro hug. It would be weird to see 2 guys at the gym just walk across the room and embrace one another.
Not true.
For a couple seconds.
I don't think that'd be weird.
And let go.
I think it'd be weird to see 2 females do a bro hug.
I don't know. I think they're equally weird. And not weird because they should be. They're weird because of how we have stigmatized greetings in a way. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
But we're going to do the opposite of a bro hug right now. We're going to do a digital goodbye.
No, hug goodbye.
I guess you could hug goodbye as well. You don't have to hug hello.
Hug it.
Well, do you want to hug the camera, Carla Marie? We are going to be back on Monday, as we always are.
Don't forget to get your tickets to Seattle Cocktail District.
We do have a lot of people who commented on our Carla Marie Anthony Show Instagram post with what you deserve, what you think you deserve yesterday. We appreciate all of those comments. And if you can we're going to be posting things like that for the next couple days. If you can keep responding, keep interacting with those posts, that would be fantastic. My Day Friday is going to hit you right in the ear hole tomorrow.
Oh, we're doing a little staycation this weekend.
And we've got that going.
We're staying at a Seattle hotel. Stay tuned.
Oh, I didn't realize I put the stream ending.
I know. I thought you did.
Thing already.
So
well, now we say goodbye.
Now. Okay, bye.
You look great.
You look great.